Welcome to Missouri Sports Talk. I'm your host, Cameron Staley. Today we've got large school predictions for Missouri high school basketball. This past week, if you didn't see in my small school predictions, didn't go so well, 11-7, but pretty good week in large schools, 14-4. That was good enough for 25 wins overall this past week. Hopefully we'll sit around that 25 to 30 range again this week. Hopefully more than 25, right? Let's look at the Class 4 scoreboard from this past week. Eugene over Moberly 65-45. Summit Christian wins in the Kearney Invitational 49-46 over Smithville. Blair Oaks, they sneak past Hallsville. I believe they were down 7 when I started watching. I was at work for that one. I was hoping to be there, but couldn't make it out there. Blair Oaks forces overtime, and they win it 56-51. Clinton, they make quick work of Archie. They put 94 points up in this one. Archie scores 52. Potosi over St. Genevieve 71-50. And Kirksville over Class 2 ranked Western 54-35. Here's the Class 4 scoreboard. We'll start off with Blair Oaks and Salem tonight in the St. James tournament. Blair Oaks 2-0 matchup history over Salem since the 16-17 season, scoring 64.3 a game. They're at number 5 in Class 4 right now. I don't see them losing this one. Moberly versus Chillicothe. It's been a weird past few games for Moberly. A little bit of a losing slide here. Last season was their first matchup since 2012. Moberly actually lost that one 52-47. I think they win it this year, though. Chillicothe having some tough times on offense, only scoring 47.2 a game. I think the Spartans take care of business here. Hallsville versus Boonville on Friday night. Hallsville is down in the matchup history 6-9 since the 15-16 season, but they're off to a solid start this year. Yes, they just lost to Blair Oaks and then Orchard Farm in the weekend, but those are two ranked teams in Class 4. I think they're hungry to prove themselves after those two losses. They defeat Boonville here. They're scoring 61.7 a game. I'll take them here. Logan Rogersville versus Hartville is our Class 4 game of the week. Logan Rogersville just took the number 1 spot in Class 4. Hartville has proven themselves as the number 1 in Class 2. I'm interested in this game. Logan Rogersville has the matchup history 2-1 since 2019-2020. As I just said, took the number 1 in Class 4 over Vashon, who was the winner last year. They were in the Tournament of Champions. Logan Rogersville was this past week down in Springfield at Missouri State. Had a few nationally ranked teams, including number 1 Paul VI, number 2 Principia. I mean, they lost a game in that. Ended up getting 3rd in the tournament, so I think they slumped down to number 5 in the country, which is still incredible. So I think Bartlett was there. They're ranked in the country. St. John Bosco was there. They're top 25, I want to say, in the country. And then Calvary Christian, I think they're from Florida. They're in there, and I think they're just inside the top 10 going into that tournament and then got 2nd place. Pretty sure they went up to number 2 in the country. So there was 3 or 4 top 10 teams in the country in that tournament, and Logan Rogersville held their own. I don't see them losing to a Class 2 school here, no matter how good Hartville is. Mexico versus Kirksville. I'll take Mexico. These two teams play a lot. Mexico leads the matchup history 16-12 since the 2015-2016 season, and that features 6 straight wins right now. They're scoring 58.5 a game, and they're number 6 in Class 4 right now. I'll take the Bulldogs. Clever hosting Springfield Catholic. Give me Catholic here. It's been a weird year so far this year, but I think to get back on track here, they are scoring 70 points per game. The defense just needs to step up for them. 6-1 matchup history since 2016-2017. I think they make it 7-1 against Clever. Class 5 from this past week. Kearney defeats North Platte 69-46. Sykeston versus St. Mary's was 2 top 5 teams. Sykeston top 5 in Class 5. St. Mary's top 5 in Class 4. Sykeston wins that one at home 82-68. Vianney with the upset over Class 6, number 2 ranked DeSmet 61-55. Vianney has slid into the number 1 spot in Class 5 off of that win. Farmington, they put up 90 points in a 90-78 victory over Hillsboro. They had a really rough slide there midseason. Now they're on, I believe, a 4 or 5 game winning streak right now, so they're starting to get it back together. Principia, they look a little human in this one. They sneak by MICDS. 69-61 is your final there. And Holt takes care of business quite easily against Warrenton, 73-53. Here's the Class 5 scoreboard. Carl Junction versus Harrisonville. I'll take Harrisonville here. They're scoring 65.5 a game, only allowing 40.5. The defense is looking good. They're right outside the rankings in Class 4, and I think with a good surge here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, they will be top 10. Union versus Rockwood Summit. I'll take Rockwood Summit here, 2-0 matchup history, scoring 63.1 a game. The record isn't the most beautiful in the world, but they've challenged themselves with the schedule. I'll take the Falcons here. Washington versus Sykeston. Not a lot of thought put into this one. Sykeston is scoring 78.9 a game. That's one of the highest in the whole entire state. They look incredible this year. And compared to Washington, they're only scoring 53.4 a game. So that's what, a 25-point gap. I could see Sykeston winning this one by 25. Holt versus Orchard Farm. This one could come as a surprise to some people, but I will take Orchard Farm in this one. They're tied 1-1 in the matchup history. I believe both those games were played last year. Orchard Farm, I've got them ranked in Class 4. I know GSV took them out of the rankings. I left them in. They're scoring 64.5 a game. Holt has just been up and down so far this year. They're a good team. They just need to keep stacking those wins. They have a tough schedule, but they just need to take advantage of the games that they should be winning, and they've dropped a few that they probably should not have lost. So I think Holt, they can get it together there towards the end of the season, but for right now, the pick will be Orchard Farm on my end. The Class 5 game of the week is MICDS versus Vianney. I'll take Vianney here. They just took the number 1 spot in Class 5. They're scoring 71.9 a game. They're looking incredible this year. I mean, beating DeSmet, that's enough to start a really hot streak for these guys. I don't know if they lose again in the regular season. I'll take Vianney here. Raytown South versus Smithville. Give me Smithville here. They're top 10 in Class 4 in my rankings. They are down in the matchup history 5-7 since 2018-2019. I don't think that ends up being an issue. Raytown South, I just don't know about them right now. 7 losses so far this year. We'll see if they can get this one done. That would be a good resume win for them. But right now, I'll stick with the Warriors here. Class 6 from this past week. Boy, was I wrong about this one. Cardinal Ritter, they defeat McClure North by 20 points. 63-43 is your final there. The Stars just could not get anything going on offense. Liberty, they fall at home to Staley 48-37. Pretty low score in that game. Rockbridge versus Battle. I kind of followed this one on Instagram. Shout out to the MediaCom guys that run Primetime CMAC. So shout out to them. If anybody uses Instagram, go check out that page. They've got the CMAC conference on lock with some coverage there. That's schools like Rockbridge, Battle, Hickman, Smith Cotton, Helias, Jeff City, Capital City, Camdenton. I think that's it. I might be missing one, but that's the conference. I think that's it. But they do a great job, and they do announcing and stuff like that. So go check them out. This was a really intense game at Rockbridge. Battle was leading the entire time, but it was close the whole time. They end up getting away with the win, and they looked impressive in this one. 70-64 is the final there. Francis Howell defeats Fort Zumwalt South 50-31. I was surprised with this one because we got South ranked in Class 5. That was just a rough game for them. Lindbergh comes to Columbia, and they defeat Hickman 63-54. This Lindbergh team, they're pretty solid. I don't think I'd list them as on the bubble for Class 6, but they are a top 20 caliber team in Class 6 for sure. And Nixa, they defeat Willard 76-55. That's a good resume win for the Eagles. We got them at number 4 in Class 6 right now. Here's the Class 6 scoreboard. We'll start off with Staley versus Blue Springs South. I'm going with Staley in this one. They've got a 4-1 matchup history advantage since the 2020-2021 season. The defense looks good for them. They're only allowing 49.2 a game. They played a really tough schedule, sitting at 8-4 right now. I think they take care of business here. Battle versus Kickapoo. Kickapoo just competed in the Tournament of the Champions that I was talking about earlier with Logan Rogersville. Kickapoo did go 0-3 in the tournament and took 8th place. But man, they pushed some of those nationally ranked teams all the way to the final whistle. This is a really good basketball team, and I think they go to Columbia and take care of business in this one. They're only allowing 49.7 a game, which is quite impressive after you add in all those averages from those games against nationally ranked teams this past week. Hickman versus Chaminade. This one's happening in Quincy, Illinois, I believe. I'll take Chaminade here on the neutral site. 3-0 matchup history in favor of the Red Devils. They are scoring 71.8 points per game, led by Johnny Jordan. He's committed to Omaha, I believe. Really good player. I think that Chaminade, they've got the potential for a state championship. They were second place last year. They're third ranked in the class right now. This is definitely a team to look out for. Lee Summit versus Lee Summit North. Lee Summit North started off the season 5-0, went on a 6-game losing streak. In that 6-game losing streak, they did lose to Lee Summit, and it was not close. I want to say Lee Summit won that game by like 20 points. So it was a weird mid-season for the Broncos. It was from like December 13th to January 13th, like a full month that they did not win a basketball game. Now they're on a 3-game win streak. They're getting their footing, and you know what? I think they, in the second matchup, they continue that little hot streak that they're riding right now in this Lee Summit tournament, and they win it. The Class 6 game of the week is DeSmet versus Rolla. This is an interesting game. Both teams have nearly identical averages on offense and defense, both within a point of each other. So it's kind of weird to gauge. And in all honesty, you got to go kind of on the strength of schedule. And DeSmet, we've got them ranked 2 in Class 6 right now, and Rolla is just outside of the rankings in Class 6, so they're sitting at number 11, basically. And I think DeSmet has just been challenged a lot more so far this year in their losses, and I think they're going to be hungry after this loss to Vianney. Vianney, number 1 in Class 5. I think they've got something to prove now, and being at home for this game will be very big for these guys. I will take the DeSmet Spartans here. Truman versus North Kansas City. We've got NKC in the top 10. They played on December 5th in the Fog Allen Invitational, and North Kansas City won that game 71-30. 41-point win. Now, you tell me. I don't think it's going to be a close game this time either, if it's anywhere near what it was last time. And to just add salt to the wound, 10 straight wins for the Hornets against Truman. This is a pretty easy pick here. I'll go with North Kansas City. That's all we got for today. I'm a little late on uploading Marshall versus Boonville, but that'll be up tomorrow. That's all we got for today. Not sure if we'll do anything Friday. Saturday, I was supposed to go up to Brookfield for the wrestling tournament, but now we're projected like 7 inches of snow here in Jefferson City, so don't think I'll really be getting out on the road on that one. Northern Missouri, I think, is not supposed to get anywhere near what we're getting. So, like, tournament's going to go on, but I'm going to be stuck here. So that's going to suck. Might be a little drought in content here for a minute, but we'll be back and good to go next week around Tuesday or Wednesday. That's all I got for today. This has been Missouri Sports Talk. See you next time.